Hi, I'm the Tipsy Gypsy, and thanks for tuning into my channel. I wanted to talk to you all today about something. I've been getting a lot of questions about Albuquerque, New Mexico, and a lot of questions especially about the parts of town that are walkable, where you could live without having transportation. And so while I have never had to worry about that because I have a car. I know a lot of people don't have cars or transportation by choice. They don't want the maintenance. They don't want the insurance for whatever reason. Albuquerque is not the most walkable city in the world. It has not. There are a lot of cities like Portland, Oregon that has MAX, their public transportation. It's their train system. The Bay Area has BART. New York City has the subway. A lot of different cities have their own transportation or transportation systems, public transportation. Albuquerque is working on one called ART, which is Albuquerque Rapid Transit, and I make it a habit of not saying anything if I don't have anything nice to say, so I will leave it at that. For those of you interested in knowing a little bit more about the ART project, ART, just like it sounds, you can kind of look it up and see. You can read about it for yourself. That's not what this video is going to be about. So that said, Albuquerque does have, so I met a lady who moved here from Los Angeles, and I was always under the impression that it would be easier to get around in Los Angeles, public transportation wise. And so I met this lady who moved to Albuquerque from Los Angeles, and we talked about that, and she said, hands down, Albuquerque is easier to get around than LA without a car. So anyway, sorry I'm a mess right now. I was outside working on my lawn. I wanted to, since it was overcast and a little bit kind of starting to sprinkle, I wanted to get out there and do some work because it's been so hot and humid lately. So anyway, that's why I look, my hair is a mess. And anyway, I just threw on some earrings, kind of make up for the messy hair. So what I thought I would do today is tell you some of the areas in Albuquerque where you probably could live without a vehicle. If you needed to rely solely on public transportation or your bicycle or walking. Now I'm going to have to just, I'm going to list areas in the Northeast Heights, and that's because this is where I grew up. I know it best. I know it inside and out. I might do another video someday if I have an opportunity to talk to people who live maybe in other areas of Albuquerque, like the Southwest or Southeast, and of course Northwest. That is going to definitely be another video. That's Rio Rancho, Paradise Hills, Taylor Ranch. So I'm focusing today in the northeast part of Albuquerque because I know that like the back of my hand. I know it inside and out. And I have a list here which, while it's not all-inclusive, I feel like these are the most walkable areas of town, the areas of town you could live in if you only had a bicycle or your feet or public transportation, that you could probably get around pretty easily without having to worry about. A lot of these areas here that I'm going to tell you about, I'll tell you what's in them, but you really could just walk. So I tried to focus on those. All areas of Albuquerque, you can take the bus, obviously. You can walk to a bus stop and take the bus wherever you go. What I wanted to do is focus on the areas that you could literally walk or take your bike a really short distance. And I was really surprised. I never really thought about that since I've always had a car. Albuquerque is very car friendly, very pedestrian unfriendly. So I never really thought about it, but as I started thinking about this when I was outside compiling my list in my head, I was really surprised on all of the areas that I came up with in Albuquerque that you really could do this. So, and like I said, these are all in the Northeast Heights. So you can look them up on a map and see where they are, and I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to give you some highlights of the areas. It's not going to be all inclusive of everything that's in that area. And also, I'm going to, you can just assume that there are homes in the area. I'm not going to talk about the homes. I'm just going to talk about the walkability or bicycle ability, however you want to word it. So the first place, I think, is Louisiana and Indian School. Louisiana and Indian School, you have a lot. You have Trader Joe's, you have Winrock, you have Uptown, Coronado Mall, there's a Target, there is a theater, and there are a ton of restaurants. That is kind of like the hub of the city. That is the Uptown area. There are lots of apartments. There are even some 55 plus apartments. Obviously, homes. Public transportation, I've seen a lot. I mean, you could take it anywhere, but you see Louisiana, because that is where the shopping malls are. That's where Coronado is. That's where Winrock is, and Uptown. So that I felt like was really a very, very livable, very walkable part of Albuquerque. So the second walkable part was Montgomery and Juan Tabo. Now I'm reading off of my list here, so that's why I can't, this isn't all in my head. I was thinking of it when I was outside and I came in and I wrote it all down real quick. So Montgomery and Juan Tabo, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's around there. There's a Walgreens and there is a Sprouts. For those of you who don't know what Sprouts is, it's like a little grocery store, but they have organic and non-organic. There's a Walmart. It is not the Walmart, the superstore. It's called, I think they call it like what is it? The Marketplace, Walmart Marketplace. It's like a miniature Walmart, and they have them in a lot of neighborhoods. There's a UPS, Baskin-Robbins. There are 2 banks, lots of restaurants, lots of fast food, lots of apartments. There's a coffee shop. I think it's Satellite, if I remember correctly, Satellite Coffee. And you can also eat there. And then CNM, which is Central New Mexico Community College. It is a 2-year college. You can get an associate's degree or all kinds of trades. So it is, CNM is from Montgomery. You would go north on Juan Tabo, and it's maybe a 5-minute walk. And so that's really nice. So if you are going to come here and go to CNM as a student, there's all kinds of apartments around, so it's very walkable. You could live at Montgomery and Juan Tabo. That would be an ideal place for you. The next place, there's going to be a lot on Montgomery because Montgomery is one of the major streets in Albuquerque. It's an east-west street, and you could pretty much live anywhere on Montgomery. Obviously, the closer you are to the intersections, the more shopping, and if you want to take public transportation, there's going to be more connections there. So the next one is Montgomery in Louisiana. At Montgomery in Louisiana, there's a grocery store, lots of restaurants. There's like a shoe store, clothing store, lots of shopping. There are several strip malls and lots of apartments. Albuquerque does have a lot of strip malls. So pretty much any of these areas that I'm telling you, you can kind of assume that there are going to be strip malls. I'll tell you if there's also a lot of strip malls in the area. Albuquerque's known for their strip malls. It's like everywhere in Albuquerque it's a strip mall, which is a good thing and a bad thing. If you are wanting to start a business, you're going to find a lot of strip malls where you could potentially start. A lot of them are vacant. So anyway, okay, so let's get past that. The next area I want to talk about is Academy in San Mateo. I used to live over in that area, and I loved it then, and now it's grown a lot more, and it's got a lot more stuff that would be more towards what I would lean to, like a Sprouts, which is, like I said, it's the kind of like a grocery store. It's not a full grocery store, but you could get everything you needed there. So there's a Sprouts. There are lots of restaurants, a lot of seafood restaurants, lots of fast food, lots and lots of fast food. There's a movie theater. lots of strip malls, lots of apartments, lots of shopping. I think Academy in San Mateo is the place because there's everything there. You can go across San Mateo. San Mateo is a north-south street. You could go across San Mateo. There are car dealerships. San Mateo is one big strip mall. From one end to the other, no matter where you go, there's lots and lots of shopping. So you have on San Mateo all the big chain restaurants, the big movie theater, everything that you can think of. So that San Mateo and Academy probably is one of the most livable or walkable. Walkable is a better word. Okay, so the next one will be Montgomery and San Mateo. Obviously, we're back to San Mateo again and Montgomery. At San Mateo and Montgomery, there are a lot of restaurants, a lot of apartments, a lot of shopping, a lot of shopping malls and strip malls. At Montgomery and San Mateo, you're going to have, I don't know if you have a Ross where you live, but Ross is kind of like a discount clothing store, but it's a big, big one. A lot of those type of stores around San Mateo and Montgomery. There's also, I forget the name of it. I think it used to be called Montgomery Mall, and it used to be an indoor mall. It isn't so much anymore. There's Burlington Coat Factory, but there are a lot of restaurants, a lot of fast food restaurants in that area. So San Mateo and Montgomery is also a very good very walkable. Eubank and Candelaria. There are a lot of apartments around Eubank and Candelaria. There's a post office, lots of restaurants. There's a health food store. It's called Keller's. And you can get organic meat if you eat meat. I think most everything is organic there. You can get fruit, vegetables, a lot of frozen stuff, vitamins. There's also a music store. There is a thrift store, and there's a grocery store and a strip mall and all kinds of other stuff. There's a McDonald's and used to be a movie theater. There isn't anymore. I was going to say movie theater. There was when I grew up in that quadrant there, so there was a movie theater when I was there. There's a bowling alley. Okay, so the next area is Montgomery and Wyoming. We're back to Montgomery again. So at Montgomery in Wyoming, there is a health food store that's called Natural Grocers. I don't know if we call it Vitamin Cottage here, but it is Vitamin Cottage by Natural Grocers. Health food. There is a coffee shop. I think that one is also Satellite Coffee. It's across the street from the health food place. Michael's, for those of you who aren't familiar with Michael's, it's kind of like for arts and crafts and decorating, like if you want to decorate for the season, let's say fall, and you wanted to go there and get cornucopias, and I'm talking about artificial type stuff. And then if you paint or you draw, you can get all of your painting and drawing supplies. So that's what Michael's is. There are a lot of apartments in the area. Restaurants. There's an eyeglass place, several strip malls. There is a paint store. Trying to remember everything. I think there might even be a Walgreens on that corner. Anyway, that's a very, very walkable area. You can pretty much find everything that you need. And I don't think, let's see here. Oh, yeah, here it is. So Eubank and Montgomery is another walkable area. And that also is really close to C&M. So C&M is in between Wantabo and Eubank, and in between Osuna and Montgomery. So if you live anywhere in that quadrant, you should be able to walk over to C&M. And I mean, even if you live a little bit further away from that, it's really not that long of a walk. And if you're a student and you're used to walking on a larger campus, that's not going to be any big deal to you. Excuse me, I want to drink here. Okay, so at Eubank and Montgomery, like I said, lots of apartments. There's a Staples. I was a student at C&M, and I used that Staples to make copies of everything. That really came in handy. Across the street from Staples is a Hobby Lobby and a Stein Mart. If you're not familiar with Hobby Lobby, it's another arts and crafts store. There's a lot of fast food there, a lot of restaurants. There's a Sonic and a Taco Bell. I'm trying to remember, there's a seafood. I don't know if it's Long John Silver's or something like that. And lots of shopping. So you'll be able to pretty much get everything you need in that corner there. The only thing there isn't on that corner is a grocery store. You would either have to walk down to the Natural Grocers, which is down at Wyoming, or I'm trying to think where else you would have to go. But anyway, the only thing that's not on that corner is a grocery store. So you might have to take a bus or your bike, or just be prepared for a little bit longer walk. So the last area, I'm sure there are lots more. I picked some of the areas I felt are the bigger areas, or the ones with the most condensed things that you would need, like grocery stores and post offices. So the last one is Walkable and Lomas. So at Walkable and Lomas, you have a grocery store, a post office if you walk up Lomas a little ways. It's not right there on the corner, but it is on Lomas. You have lots of restaurants. You have a Chinese buffet restaurant and a couple chain restaurants, and I think there's a coffee shop. There are several thrift stores on Walkable pretty close by there. There's a library. You would have to walk all the way up to Tramway, but that's really not that long of a walk. And there are lots of strip malls. And also you could walk from Walkable and Lomas, you could walk just a little bit south on Lomas, and you could get to, there's another Hobby Lobby and a few other restaurants. There's like a Village Inn, just about everything you would need. So anyway, I covered the areas that I could think of that if I didn't have transportation, the areas I felt like I could get around the most easily in the Northeast Heights. So anyway, I hope this is a help to those of you who have been asking. I want to thank you for asking the question. If there's something else any of you would like to know about Albuquerque, if I can answer it, I will. Just let me know. Make a comment below. I want to thank all of you new subscribers, and I want to thank all of my old subscribers for sticking with me and for helping my channel grow. And if you would, please like and share, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And also, that notification bell on the bottom. If you want to be notified when I upload a new video, instead of having to check back with me and see if I have anything new, hit that notification bell, and it will notify you as soon as I upload a new video. You can be the first to watch it. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time.